This question was asked in GATE 2021 EC paper for 2 marks. In a high school having equal number of boy students and girl students, 75% of the students study science and the remaining 25% students study commerce. Commerce students are 2 times more likely to be a boy than are science students. The amount of information gained in knowing that a randomly selected girl student studies commerce rounded off to 3 decimal places is. The NPTEL video reference for this question is Lecture 1 Information Theory and Coding by Professor Ranjan Bose, Department of Electrical Engineering, IIT Delhi. Some useful information in order to solve this question. Conditional probability of an event B given that an event A is probability of A intersection B divided by the probability of A. Similarly, Bayes' theorem gives the probability of B given the event A as the probability of A given B times probability of B divided by the total probability of A. In the question, it is given that equal number of boy and girl students are there. So the probability of boy student is equals to the probability of girl student, which is 0.5. Also, it is given the percentage of science students is 75% and the percentage of commerce students is 25%. So the probability of science student is 0.75 and probability of commerce students is 0.25. Also, the conditional probability of student being boy given that he studies commerce is twice the conditional probability of student being boy given that he studies science. We can write the probability of student being boy as the probability of student being boy given that he studies commerce times probability of commerce plus probability of student being boy given that he studies science times probability of science. Substituting the respective probabilities, this probability is given as 0.5. We can substitute this probability from this particular equation. Probability of commerce student is given as 0.25. This probability is unknown to us, so we write it as it is. This probability is 0.75. Simplifying this equation gives 1.25 times conditional probability of boy student given that he studies science. This is 0.5, which gives conditional probability of boy student studying science as 0.4. By this relation, we can get the conditional probability of boy student studying commerce as 0.8. By Bayes' theorem, we can write the conditional probability of student studying commerce given that he is a boy as probability of a student being boy given that he studies commerce times probability of commerce divided by the total probability of student being boy. Substituting the respective probabilities, we get this gives the probability of a commerce student given that he is a boy as 0.4. We can write the probability of commerce student as the probability of commerce student given that he is a boy times probability of boy plus probability of commerce student given that she is a girl times probability of girl student. Substituting the respective probabilities, this probability is given as 0.25. This probability we calculated in the last equation as 0.4. This is given as 0.5, and this is the probability which we want to determine. This probability is given as 0.5. By solving this equation, we get the probability of a student studying commerce, given that she is a girl, as 0.1. The information gained in bits is given as negative logarithm to the base 2 1 over probability. Substituting this probability in this expression, we get this can be simply written as log 10 to the base 2 bits, which evaluates to 3.322 bits. So the amount of information gained in knowing that a randomly selected girl student studies commerce rounded off to 3 decimal places is 3.322 bits, which is the final answer.